Reiner de Ridder just cannot be stopped. The goofy style is how you thrive at middleweight, it seems. And by the way, I see people comparing Dricus to RDR, obviously because of their goofy styles, but RDR would probably make Dricus look like the most technical fighter ever. His recent performance against Strickland, he looked the best I've ever seen him, and I do think he would beat RDR, but we're here to talk about his performance against Whittaker. I got this pick wrong. I did think that Whittaker would have won, and from the way the fight played out, I would have thought that I would have been right. Rob's takedown defense held up, and he was landing his shots. Rob has those same combos that he loves, but they still work. Some of the shots that he was hitting RDR with early, I felt like should have been rocking and wobbling RDR more than they were. Anytime Whittaker hit RDR with a jab, he would fling back like he just got hit by a Francis Ngannou overhand. I don't know why he would do that. That's not him getting hurt, by the way. That's just his defense, I guess. It's probably not the best look for the judges to be doing that in a fight. Optics matter. Fighters who are emoting and acting like they didn't get hurt and pointing and laughing after they land their punches probably get more favorable treatment from the judges. I don't have a way to prove this. I think it's just a psychological thing where people lean towards that fighter winning. But regardless of that, RDR was able to pull off the victory, which I think was the right call. I think the best comparison for RDR is he fights like how Draymond Green shoots. You've seen that photo of Draymond shooting with the backpack on. That's how RDR fights. His knee to the body is brutal. That must have drained Whittaker. I couldn't help but think about Nickal when de Ridder was landing all of those knees. The way Whittaker was sitting on the stool in the later rounds, it was obvious those knees had a massive effect on him. Now there's a couple of ways to look at this fight. Obviously you could look at this and say that Whittaker's not the same. I'm not a fan of saying a fighter's out of their prime when they lose as a way to discredit the winner, and this fight wasn't complete domination. There was an argument for Whittaker to win. I personally scored it for Reiner de Ridder, but I see the argument. The only thing you could say is that Whittaker 4 years ago wins this fight. Maybe he does, but sometimes there's just fighters that are the worst matchups for you. And Whittaker's worst matchup might just be goofy fighters who he can't get a read on. When de Ridder is flying back after every jab Whittaker lands, it may be difficult for Whittaker to implement his game plan. He likes to get a read and fight smart against his opponent. That's impossible to do against RDR and Dricus. Whittaker did almost finish him in round number 3, but it was after I felt Whittaker himself was about to get finished. I think the thing with RDR is that he just out-physicals his opponent and breaks them. I think the way to beat somebody like him is you have to knock him out. And this is my concern for RDR. Whittaker proved that it's very possible to finish him, and I think somebody like Imavov would be able to knock him out. If RDR is pressuring Imavov like he did Whittaker, I think he gets pieced up and Imavov lands some more powerful shots and knocks him out. Now what's next for RDR? I think the obvious matchup is Israel Adesanya. Izzy has been very open about wanting to fight Strickland, but with Strickland's suspension, he might have to pivot to something else. In a match against Izzy, I think I would pick Izzy to knock him out, but there's two very obvious results. One is, like I said, RDR comes in with no plan, and Izzy just chins him. It looks like his chin isn't on the level of DDP, or the other outcome is obviously that RDR just overpowers him and either submits him or wins a decision. Does RDR have championship potential? I don't think so. This might age poorly because this is exactly how we felt about Dricus before he ended up winning, but there is a couple of fighters that I would pick to beat him, like Dricus, Khamzat, Imavov, Kyle, and I think I would even pick Izzy to beat RDR. That fight's tough to pick because Izzy's stock is at an all-time low and RDR's is at an all-time high, but there are ways for Izzy to pull that win off. I think how well he did against Dricus proves that. Dricus just had the chin that Izzy couldn't crack, but RDR doesn't have that type of durability in my opinion. The right shot can put him out. All in all, the goofy fighter continues to thrive at middleweight. I don't think he wins the title, and I think he loses to the guys in the top 5, but it hasn't happened yet. DDP has created a movement for all goofy fighters to have hope, and RDR is one of those fighters.